Steven Seagal was once a force to be reckoned with in Hollywood. He burst onto the scene in the late 1980s. His martial arts skills seemed captivating. Seagal became an overnight sensation. His films promised audiences a unique blend of action and intrigue. Seagal's early films like Above the Law and Under Siege were box office hits. His stoic demeanor and impressive physical prowess resonated with audiences. He quickly became synonymous with a particular brand of action hero. He was a man of few words who could take down an entire room of villains with his bare hands. The world was enamored by this enigmatic figure. He possessed a mysterious aura. Seagal claimed to be a descendant of samurai. This mystique only added to his appeal. Fans flocked to theaters to witness his signature brand of bone-crunching action. Little did they know that behind the carefully crafted persona lay a much more complex and troubling reality. Steven Seagal's early success in Hollywood was undeniable. He became a bankable star. Studios were eager to capitalize on his popularity. Seagal's films followed a familiar formula. He played a lone wolf hero battling against corrupt officials or ruthless criminals. His martial arts background set him apart from other action stars of the time. Seagal's fight scenes were raw and brutal. They showcased his Aikido expertise. Audiences marveled at his ability to disarm and disable opponents with ease. He cultivated an image of himself as an unstoppable force. Seagal surrounded himself with an entourage that reinforced this perception. Stories of his off-screen exploits began to circulate. Some whispered that he was truly invincible. Seagal's star power reached its peak in the early 1990s. He commanded huge salaries. His films continued to attract large audiences. However, cracks were beginning to show in his carefully constructed facade. Rumors of onset arrogance and unprofessionalism began to surface. As Steven Seagal's fame grew, so did his reputation for being difficult to work with. Stories began to circulate of his onset behavior. This behavior was often described as unprofessional and disrespectful. There were whispers of tantrums, demands, and a general disregard for the efforts of his colleagues. One recurring allegation was Seagal's mistreatment of stunt performers. These professionals put their bodies on the line to create realistic action sequences. Seagal, however, was accused of being reckless and inconsiderate of their safety. There were claims that he would deviate from agreed-upon choreography. This put stunt performers at risk. Some stunt performers claimed to have been injured as a result of Seagal's actions. Others spoke out about his dismissive attitude toward their craft. They alleged that he viewed them as expendable rather than valued collaborators. These whispers of mistreatment began to paint a picture of Seagal that contrasted sharply with his on-screen persona. Central to Steven Seagal's persona was his image as a martial arts master. He frequently boasted of his Aikido skills. He claimed to be undefeated in combat. However, as his fame grew, so did the scrutiny surrounding these claims. Martial arts experts began to question the authenticity of Seagal's skills. They pointed out inconsistencies in his technique. Some suggested that his demonstrations were staged or exaggerated. Others questioned his credentials and the legitimacy of his claimed lineage. Seagal's on-screen fighting style also drew criticism. Critics argued that it lacked realism. His opponents often appeared to throw themselves at him. This led to accusations that his fight scenes were choreographed to make him look more formidable than he actually was. The more Seagal's martial arts expertise was examined, the more questions arose. Doubts began to creep into the minds of fans and critics alike. The myth of the invincible martial arts master began to crumble. Trouble with the law. Steven Seagal's personal life became increasingly intertwined with legal troubles. He faced a series of accusations and lawsuits. These ranged from sexual harassment to racketeering. These allegations further tarnished his public image. In the late 1990s, several women came forward with accusations of sexual misconduct against Seagal. They alleged that he had used his position of power to make unwanted advances. These allegations resulted in lawsuits. While Seagal denied all wrongdoing, the damage to his reputation was significant. In 2001, Seagal was sued for allegedly hiring members of a Russian-American organized crime group. The lawsuit claimed that he had used these individuals to intimidate and threaten people. Seagal settled the lawsuit out of court. However, the allegations followed him and further fueled the perception that he was involved in shady dealings. These legal troubles, combined with his increasingly erratic behavior, led to a decline in Seagal's career. Fading into obscurity. As the new millennium dawned, Steven Seagal's star began to fade. His films, once box office draws, were now being released straight to video. The controversies surrounding his personal life had taken a toll. Audiences seemed to be losing interest in the once unstoppable action hero. Seagal's on-screen persona also seemed increasingly out of touch. The stoic, invincible hero he had played for so long felt outdated in a cinematic landscape that was embracing more complex and nuanced characters. Despite the decline in his career, Seagal continued to work. He churned out low-budget action films at a steady pace. These films often went unnoticed by mainstream audiences. They found a small but dedicated following among fans of the action genre. Seagal's retreat into obscurity was not without its own share of controversy. He continued to make headlines for his bizarre behavior and outrageous claims. He seemed to be embracing his persona as a larger-than-life figure. However, the line between reality and fiction was becoming increasingly blurred. Exile in Russia. In a surprising turn of events, Steven Seagal developed a close relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Seagal, who had long expressed admiration for Putin, was granted Russian citizenship in 2016. This move was widely seen as an attempt by Seagal to escape the mounting controversies and legal troubles he faced in the United States. Seagal embraced his new life in Russia. He became a vocal supporter of Putin's regime. He even took on a role as a special envoy for Russia, focusing on humanitarian issues. However, his appointment was met with skepticism from the international community. Seagal's exile in Russia marked a new chapter in his life. It was a chapter filled with strange alliances and a growing disconnect from the country where he had once been a star. The man who had once been a symbol of American action cinema had now become a controversial figure on the global stage. The Cryptocurrency Fiasco. Steven Seagal's ventures into the world of cryptocurrency further tarnished his reputation. In 2018, he became the brand ambassador for Bitcoin 2Gen, a cryptocurrency company. This move raised eyebrows given the lack of transparency and the numerous red flags surrounding the company. Seagal's involvement with Bitcoin 2Gen drew criticism from investors and regulators alike. The company was accused of being a pyramid scheme. Seagal was accused of using his celebrity status to mislead investors. The Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, filed charges against Seagal in 2020. He was accused of violating federal securities laws. Seagal settled with the SEC without admitting or denying the allegations. He agreed to pay a fine and to refrain from promoting securities for 3 years. The Bitcoin 2Gen debacle further solidified Seagal's fall from grace. It painted a picture of a man who was willing to exploit his fame for personal gain, even if it meant misleading the public. A legacy tarnished. Steven Seagal's legacy is a complex and troubled one. He was once a Hollywood action icon, captivating audiences with his martial arts skills and stoic demeanor. However, his career has been overshadowed by controversy, legal troubles, and bizarre behavior. Seagal's mistreatment of colleagues, his exaggerated martial arts claims, and his involvement in questionable business ventures have tarnished his image. He has gone from being a revered action star to a cautionary tale of fame gone awry. Seagal's story is a reminder that success in Hollywood, or any industry, is fleeting. It is also a reminder that true respect is earned through hard work, integrity, and humility. These are qualities that Seagal, despite his early success, seemed to lack. Lessons learned: humility and integrity. The downfall of Steven Seagal offers valuable lessons. It highlights the importance of humility and integrity in both personal and professional life. Seagal's career, once marked by success, was ultimately derailed by his own actions. His story serves as a reminder that fame and fortune can be fleeting. True fulfillment comes from conducting oneself with honor and respect for others. Seagal's fall from grace highlights the perils of ego and the importance of treating others with dignity. It is a cautionary tale for anyone in the public eye. It reminds us that true success is not measured solely by box office numbers or social media followers. It is measured by the impact we have on others and the legacy we leave behind. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got plenty more stories like this coming your way, so stay tuned.